I'm not going to fight you over your opinions. I would like to have... Well, actually, I do fight you over your opinions all the time. You didn't think they were going to win before the game. You didn't talk yourself into thinking they were going to win before the game. Maybe I'm going through... Am I going through a crisis on my own? I can't call it a crisis. I remember before the season, like I said, I think they can win 6 games. And it was like, man, where are they going to find 6 wins on that schedule? And then, honestly, I started reacting to the people the week before the season because I forget what the hell we were getting into the week before the season. It's been a couple of weeks. It feels like it was last year. And there were some people who were like, wanted us to do like a pep rally. And I started to kind of believe, and I did. I went to like 8 wins, and so maybe I should feel embarrassed. I'm not sure, but damn it, Tone, like, I think I'm trying not to get loud, and I'm trying not to get mad. My voice is, my wife got me sick over the week. I think I should expect professionals to at least be able to play with other professionals. Like, they're all getting paid out there. It wasn't like it was a high school team going up against the Ravens. And so for you to just lay down and get I don't know if they laid down just to get boat raced like that. Yeah, like somebody. Yeah, it's going to happen more and more. Somebody's going to have to pay for that.
I don't think it's a laying down. I didn't
think they laid down. They're just not good.
I think first of all, the special teams,
at least offensively,
like even if they were close to Baltimore, your special teams would have lost you the game. So even if you had been moving the football, and even if your defense was able, to continue the dominance they had in the first quarter throughout the game, like, you still lose the game because your special teams stinks. So that's the sobering part of all of this. Like, think of how well you have to play to overcome bad special teams, and then Joe Flacco turning the ball over.
Lyman Lake's coming up at 6:43. Yeah, it's special teams was terrible, offense is terrible, and I just think it's going to get worse because I think the offense is still going to sputter. I don't think rookies are going to make it any better. But again, I'm into, hey, if Kevin really believes that he's ready to go, fine, go ahead and play him. I don't care who's on the schedule. It doesn't matter to me. They're all pros to me. My quarterback is playing in college right now. I mean, let's just call it what it is, for Christ's sake. And let's not lie to each other on this. All right? I want Dillon Gabriel to be ready whenever he plays, but I don't care who's out there. I know Green Bay's defense, they're a bunch of boogity men. Yeah, they're real good. They're real good. But he could go out there and suck up the room against Detroit or New Orleans or whoever else you want to march out there because they're all professionals. So to me, the difference is really negligible. So if you wanted to put out Joe because you don't think that he's ready to take on Green Bay, fine, put out Joe because he's not ready to take out Green Bay. But at some point, you're going to get to those guys because what this is turning into is a giant formality, is a giant 5-month formality of we're paying attention to our draft stock, we're paying attention to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like that I saw the clip of Trevor Lawrence and his new head coach, Leah Cohen, getting into it. I go, okay, got that going for me. They still found a way to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, so I was happy about that. Like, that's where my headspace is going because now I'm looking at rookies going, okay, the rookies are fine. I can't trust Andrew to pick new rookies, so, I mean, that's what it says about that. I don't know if I don't think I can really trust Kevin at the end of this season to move forward, so that's what that says about that. So we got a lot of work to do this coming winter. So now it's just how many more games are there? There's 15 more. Oh my God. So it's a 15-game formality. And figuring out who's who can, who can't. You know what? You'll probably win a couple of those games. Miami's on that schedule. New Orleans is on that schedule, like I said. San Francisco's 2-0, so you can't just take them as easy pickings anymore. We'll see what Tennessee is by the end of it, but I would give you the head coaching advantage in that one. So you'll win a few games, and I'll see you at the draft next year. And all I'm hoping is that one of these other guys ends up finishing up the season pretty nice, because I'm going to have to talk myself into one of them. And then we'll start this process all over again. Hate to tell you, bud. Hate to tell you. So you might as well just get comfortable, because that's where it is. So you want to play Dillon Gabriel? You don't want to play Dillon Gabriel? I'll listen to either or. If he's ready to go, fine. Stick him in against Green Bay. Only if they think he's ready to go.
I couldn't get a sense of whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me about the whole Kenny Pickett thing, but I still come back to thinking Kenny Pickett was probably the plan. And that shows you where they're at. If your plan was either Kenny Pickett or... Well,
how could I deny you?
It might have been Kirk Cousins, really, first. But when they couldn't get Kirk Cousins...
How could I deny you? How could I deny it? If there's that many people telling me it's that way that are close to the team, how can I deny that I agree with you? I have to agree with you that Kenny Pickett was probably the plan. But he didn't take any of the snaps. Ended up being Joe. And then you had two other young rookies. And so they figured, well, I guess we're just going to keep the rookies. We can get a fifth-rounder back for Kenny Pickett. Where apparently, I guess, it was champion's post for Andrew Berry some way, somehow, for getting a fifth for a fifth for a fifth. Some way. I don't know. That's where we're at. So you don't want to make a move yet, though?
I wouldn't yet.
No. Okay.
But in the end, like if you told me that Dillon Gabriel was starting this week, I'd give the Browns next to no chance. I mean, with Flacco, it's going to be tough. Do you give him a
chance with Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I still think
do you give him much more of a chance with Joe Flacco?
I still think Flacco's better than Gabriel, but everyone's going to say
more ready.
Everyone's going to do what fans always do, which is, well, we haven't seen the rookie yet in a real game and in real competition, so they're going to hold out hope. And I just don't have any hope for Dillon Gabriel.
216-474-0092. Kevin in Georgia. Hello.
Sure, well, we can put Dillon Gabriel out there and ruin his career like we've ruined so many other promising quarterbacks. There's only one reason why this team is where it is, and his name is Andrew Berry. He came in and destroyed this team with the Deshaun Watson trade, and unfortunately, we had a quarterback that could play in a team that looked like it had a future, and he decided to take a sledgehammer to that thing. If it was really Jimmy Haslam that put him up to that, he should have resigned, because he should have known that trade would destroy his career. I would hope that he never gets another job in the NFL, because based off of this body of work, he is an incompetent moron and should never be allowed to destroy another team the way he has destroyed this one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as much as I'm not defending what he's done with this team at all, Kevin, when I say this to you. He will get another job. I mean, there's plenty of people out there who think that he's a genius. There's plenty of people in the NFL that think he's a genius. I mean, it's the same thing with Kevin.
Based on what?
Kevin, hey, buddy, I wish I could tell you. I'm just giving you the facts of the matter here. It's the same thing. Kevin will be an offensive coordinator next year. I'm just telling you how it goes.
Kevin Stefanski, he can't coach players he doesn't have. Andrew Berry has given him nothing. We could put any quarterback back there, former or current, and it would make very little difference. Maybe you win a game or two, but it's not going to make a world of difference, because Andrew Berry has failed at a level that is so inconceivable you can't even understand why he got hired in the first place, except for the fact that Jimmy Haslam is such an arrogant fool that he has no ability to send out and find people that will do a good job for his team.
Well, Kevin, at least we've only just begun. Thank you very much for the call. 216-474-0092.
Who are all the young quarterbacks we ruined? How many of the young quarterbacks? Well, that's what he said. He started off the call and said, "Oh, we're going to ruin
Brady
Dillon
Quinn will
Gabriel."
Definitely say you ruined him.
Sure, but
Brady will
do we
accuse you? Johnny Manziel does it on a podcast like once a week. So
yeah, I don't know.
Not a great example.
Longitude and latitude.
Yeah, not a great example.
If somebody could write out a list, tweet it at me, email it at me, or comment in hot button, whatever. Tell me the list of quarterbacks that we ruined.
Are we doing coming in hot this Friday? That's a TBD deal right there. Mike in Atlanta, Georgia. He's listening on the free Odyssey app. He's next up on the Fan.
Yeah, my thoughts on Flacco. Just guys playing like he's looking over his shoulder. I'm like, dude, you're 40 years old. Just let it go. At least throw a ball down the field, get a PI or something. I've never seen so many checkdowns with this guy.
Well, he tried to do that, and then he threw an interception and nearly got returned for a touchdown.
Well, he
did that once
on the run.
Yeah, he did that
was
once.
Terrible. He had one nice ball
because he knew it. I mean, there was a pressure where like he knew it, and he's rolling out, and he knows that they got good field position at the time of the intercept. That was a Nate Wiggins pick, and he knew they had good field position, and I think he was frustrated, didn't want to waste it, and then he ended up wasting it because he threw a pick along the far sidelines, and Nate Wiggins almost took it in.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah. Not good, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon, Mike. Thank you very much for the call.
Ross Tucker was adamant on the call. We'll get the all-22, and I don't think it's going to look much better. But Ross Tucker was adamant that your receivers cannot get open. It's like they are not getting open.
They can't. I said that at the beginning. I said it. Go back over the opening statement. I totally agreed with Ross. You had long routes, and the Ravens were willing to let you settle for David Njoku and willing to let you settle for Harold Fannin. Jerry Jeudy was not much of a concern whatsoever. And Cedric Tillman can't hold on to the ball. Neither can Jerry. But neither of our wide receivers can really hold on to the ball. The guy who's a veteran who's supposed to be able to throw catchable balls, they can't catch. Cedric Tillman, another third-round wide receiver that Andrew Berry can't get right. I'll give him credit. At least he goes for the ball because he also drafted Anthony Schwartz, who alligator-armed it, that led us on this entire primrose path that we're to right now, which was still Andrew's pick. So either way we want to slice it, sorry, bud. Someone's paying the fiddler here. 216-474-0092. You got a Lima likes over there?
I do.
You got anything you like?
I do. Let's give it up for the baseball team that had themselves a sensational season-saving weekend.
That's true.
There is plenty to be excited about that. And once and for all, the tush push last night could have been the worst day yet.
All right. And do we need to make a change at quarterback? And, I'm starting to pick up a feeling. I got to ask people at 7, is it really not that big of a deal to lose to Baltimore? Because I'm not getting it from you, and I'm really not getting it from the people calling in right now. Big Lan also says, Ken, Tony, 1-1 or moral victories? Yep. The moral schedule, we are 1-1 this year.
That seems about right.
216-474-0092.
I did want to also, there's a second picture of the baghead guy. There are Browns fans around him. There's another guy around.
Somebody said Twitter had done an investigation yesterday and that he had walked into the stadium with the bag, which makes zero sense. That just makes zero sense if you are a Browns fan.
Like that.
It's definitely uncomfortable.
You can walk with the bag.
If you're a fan of peripheral vision.
If it's as hot as some people were saying it was, where DeJuan Jones had to leave the game because it was too hot, you're going to wear a bag before the game? Over your head? I mean, come on. That could not have been pleasant.
No, you don't walk in like that. You can't see out of that thing. Has anybody ever worn those bags and walked around? I imagine the eye holes, you're messing with your eye holes there. I don't think you can really walk around in that thing. I would imagine he was probably wearing a Ravens t-shirt underneath. And, man, you put that bag on already. It was 9-0. Really? So you just stayed in that seat the whole time? You're 0-1. It's week 2, and you wore that going in there? Talk about and while they're doing a 30th anniversary celebration, you're getting cucked by the Ravens there, are you not? I mean, good God.
That would be humiliating.
Like, I could see him putting the jersey in a bag and carrying the bag in, even though you're only supposed to have clear plastic bags.
That was not a clear bag. Yeah, how did he sneak this one in?
Well, technically, it's a headgear. I mean, how does Pumpkinhead get his pumpkins in there? Does he crow them along the sidelines?
You can't smuggle gourds in. Come on.
I didn't know anything about it. They don't say anything about bags or wearing fruit on your head, so maybe we'll find out. John in Cleveland. Hello, John.
Yeah, 2 things about the game. As far as Miles' comments post-game, I stopped taking anything he said seriously after his song and dance on Radio Row. As far as the game goes, I'm not surprised or angry about what happened. They brought back this terrible regime with a terrible coaching staff that can't develop anybody, an offensive line that after 2 weeks is starting to crumble, a wide receiver core that can't beat anybody one-on-one, and a special teams that is, specials. That's all I got, man. Thanks.
All right, John, thank you very much for the call. 216-474-0092. Nick and Menor, you're next up on the Fan. Hello, Nick.
Hey, I got a better thing to say. How about them Ohio State Buckeyes?
Well, that was.
You were a house divided. You went to Ohio State.
That was.
And you also went to OU.
That was tough sledding there. It was tough sledding for a while.
I was still happy with the win from Ohio State. Can't really say much about the Browns right now. We need a lot of work. That's all I can say about that.
All right, Nick is hotter than hell this morning. JJ in Cleveland. Hello, JJ.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
We're doing wonderful, JJ. Can't you tell? Go right on ahead.
I know, right? Can we just see the rookies?
In due time.
I mean,
I feel like we're playing more rookies than most teams.
He's talking about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm talking about the quarterbacks, which we are, though. But he's supposed to be this coach that can, coach up these players, and I just haven't seen it. The whole time he's been here. We got lucky with Flacco a few years ago. Like, after the Green Bay game, which we probably going to get smashed, can we see the rookies after that? Because we about to go into next year not even having a quarterback. Meanwhile, freaking the Colts, they drafted a quarterback, he retired, and now they done went and found a supposedly quarterback in Daniel Jones. They ain't punted the ball yet, and that's all we do is punt the ball. The coach ain't punted the ball yet in 2 weeks of football.
When we physically can. When we physically can. He almost wasn't able to make it through the rest of the game.
We can't even punt the ball. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, our kicker come and make 2 field goals this week, just like he didn't miss any last week.
Do you think it's going to get any better, JJ? Do you think the situation?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and it's only week 2, guys. That's why it's like I got people going, man. Ken, they're going to be here for 2026 as well.
I mean, I would hope so. I would hope it get better, but I don't know.
Listen to yourself.
Not next week.
JJ,
that's for sure.
I got to let you go. Thank you very much for the call. It's week 2. It's week 2. You hear this exasperation? There's no way. If this continues, guys, you got to sell tickets. You can't bring them back for 2026.
Well, and this is where...
Because I'll tell you, by that time, what is your locker room culture going to be? Or the feeling in there? So if you bring back more of the same, then I get myself worried we're going to be in it. And the only recent one I can think of is an Eberflus situation where, or even a Baker situation with Hugh. Why are you keeping this guy around? Let's all move on from this situation at the end of the year, because now I'm going to have a rookie. Sorry, hey man, there's plenty of good coaches. The situations don't go well, but if this continues, I'd love to make a defense for these guys. I can't. So now I got to start paying attention to coordinators and all that other crap. Go ahead, Tone. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, look. There's plenty of season. There's plenty of season to get Gabriel in there. You talked about in the opening segment, hey, if they think he's ready, I don't know how they could possibly think he's ready to go.
I don't either.
But fine. I think if you start him this week, they're probably getting obliterated by halftime, and we're all going to be looking at each other going, what now?
Why do we decide that? Yeah.
Yeah, what now? What do we do? We're going to play Shador next week?
I could see that.
And then this thing really goes off the rails. It's just to me, a little too soon.
There's a reasoning behind it that I really don't like, and I want to play that for you guys also. Speaking of Shador, by the way, if he really thought this way, then he is a damn genius. Ken Carman, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. And then at work, watch us for absolutely free on YouTube Live. Daryl going to join us here in 20 minutes on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman.